Life for the Saints right now is looking very bleak. After getting promoted to the Premier League last season, out of the 3 promoted sides, they're doing by a mile the worst. As at the time of recording, they are rock bottom with only 1 point. Not to mention they've only ever won the FA Cup in their entire club history too. Guys, we've got to help them out. So that is exactly what we're doing today, as I've just become their brand new manager with only one mission: win them the Champions League to crown them the best team in the world. So here we go, guys. Our journey starts with the Saints right now, and this is the team that we've loaded into. And I'll be completely real with you lot, I don't know how they're doing so badly. I mean, just look at the highest rated players they've actually got, man. It's not exactly a pushover, especially for the Premier League, is it? I mean, they've got Premier League experienced keeper Ramsdale, former Man City defender Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Cameron Archer as well, who we all know has got a bag of potential. Granted, it's not the youngest team in the world, but there's only about 6 players who are 30 years old or above, so that's not an excuse. I really don't understand it, to be honest, guys, but I suppose that's where I come in, because it's now my job to make this Southampton team the world's best club. And to be fair, in season 1, we've got a healthy amount of money to spend, 36 million to be exact. The question is though, guys, where on earth do we actually put that money? Because as decent as I think this team is right now, there's still so much room for improvement. I mean, do we spend some of that money signing both of our players on loan right now on a permanent deal? I mean, Leslie Ugochukwu looks like a solid player to bring into the team. But you know what, guys, the transfers can wait a little bit. Firstly, we got to sort our tactics out. Now I'm going for the 4-2-1-3 formation with a counter-attacking build-up style and a balanced defensive approach. As for the player instructions though, guys, our front 4, as you can see, are going to be really high up the pitch, with our wing backs providing attacking and defensive support, with our 2 CDMs being really defensive as well. And as for our strongest team, guys, this is what I believe it is right now. But let me tell you, it's not strong in the slightest. I mean, our defensive lineup and our keeper position is by a mile the strongest in this team. I mean, our midfield needs work, our wingers need work. There's still a lot of work to do, trust me. And that leads me to an important question: is this 36 million going to be enough to do what I want to do with the Saints in season 1? I don't think it is, guys, which is why I have stuck a whole bunch of players on the transfer list. Now, granted, a whole bunch of these players are up for a loan move, but the players that I am actually selling, I just don't see a future with them at the Saints under my management, so I'm just going to cash in on them. Unfortunately, though, whilst I was successful in loaning a whole bunch of the players out, I could only actually sell Jack Stevens and Ryan Manning. Nobody came in for these players, man. It has thrown a little spanner in the works, but it is something we can deal with. Because we do now have 45 million to spend. It's not as much as I'd hoped to spend in season 1, but it'll definitely do for now. As looking at the state of the team now, I think it's fairly obvious where I'm going to spend that money. For starters, I'm bringing a right winger in because, quite frankly, a 61 rated player in the Premier League ain't going to cut it. And as you can see, we don't exactly have much quality on the wings in the team, so that is a top priority in season 1. And so is replacing Charlie Taylor. He definitely isn't good enough to be in the Premier League, man. I did try to sell him, as you guys all know, but I just couldn't. And if we have money left over, I might go for Leslie Ugochukwu, but to be fair, if we do have a bit more money than 5.5 million, I might go for somebody else instead. The rest of the team I'm actually fairly content with, because I know for a fact the players that I'm leaving alone are definitely going to improve quite a significant amount by the end of this season. But it's now officially time to try and sort out our problems, starting with that right winger role. I have just signed the greatest of all time, Anthony, for 15.5 million. Now, I know what you're thinking, but just hear me out. He's only 24, he's 77 overall right now. His career at United has been diabolical since the second he stepped foot in Old Trafford. But he's got decent pace, decent dribbling, and more importantly, a lot of time left in his career to improve still. And remarkably, he's actually our best attacker rating-wise, so hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me in the backside at the end of this season. But I did say I wanted a better left back, didn't I? And I think Sergi Cardona could be perfect. 25, 77 rated, 6'1". I mean, he's not going to light the Premier League on fire, is he? But he's definitely going to get Southampton across the finish line. And that's exactly why I've just spent 14.3 million to sign him on a 5-year deal. And that leaves us 10 million in our budget, and that gives us 2 options for that CDM role. We could sign Leslie Ugochukwu and have faith that over the course of this season he'll massively improve as a player, or we could have a look on the transfer market to see if there's anybody better that we can actually afford. And guys, after looking for ages, I finally found someone. Lucas Toro from Osasuna, 30, 77 overall, and he'll cost between 8 and 6 million. He's well within our budget and defo better than Ugochukwu. And there we go, 7 million later, that's our transfer window done for season 1. But behind the scenes, guys, I've been a little busy. As you can see, Matheus Fernandes has been training to become a cam. Let's see what happens to his overall. 76 overall, fantastic. I've also trained Anthony to become a right winger. Is he going to go up? And yes, he has, 78 overall, beautiful. And with that, there's quite literally nothing else I can do. So this is the Southampton team I'm sending out into the wind in season number 1. And I'm pretty confident we're going to survive the Premier League. In fact, I'd actually say we're going to get a decent mid-table finish. But I'm really hoping for a good season from Anthony, man. I mean, I feel like you guys would never let me live it down if he absolutely flops in season 1. To be fair, though, I am expecting big performances from quite a few players like Aaron Ramsdale, like Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Fernandes, and Cameron Archer as well. I mean, if those players can have a really good season in terms of both performance and improvement, we're going to look really good going into season 2. But guys, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a bit. We're at the end of season 1 and we just about survived the Prem. Man, we got annihilated this year, man. We finished 4 points above the drop zone. But get this, we made the semis of the FA Cup. That's actually really good. Forget the Premier League, that's phenomenal. But we got knocked out in round 3 of the Carabao Cup. You know what though, I'll take that. Round 3 of the Carabao Cup and the semis of the FA Cup isn't bad at all. And the Saints ain't looking bad at all either, man. I mean, sure, there's still much more work needed because obviously we almost got relegated this year, but this is a good start. These stats obviously need work though because this isn't good enough. To be fair though, Anthony didn't flop. 15 goal contributions in 45 games isn't bad, especially playing for a team that almost got relegated this year, but this is something we've got to fix in season 2. And considering how bad our defense was this year, we need to sort our back line out. Ramsdale, I'm happy with. 83 rated, can't go wrong with him. But our back 4 are defo in question. I don't care whether we have to sell these players on to get funds to replace them. One way or another, we're getting them sorted. And who knows, if we get a better defense next season, we might go from 16th in the league to possibly a decent mid-table finish. But before we find out, if you're enjoying this rebuild so far with the Saints, drop this vid a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. So here we are, guys, season number 2 with the Saints, and in my opinion, we've been very lucky. The board have given us 48 million. And I was going to sort our defense out with that money, but then I took a look at their development plans and realized that they've still got a lot more in the gas tank to give us. I mean, Cardona's still improving, so is Bala Kotchap and Taylor Harwood-Bellis, and also Sugawara, so that really does leave me in a pickle because this defense will continue to grow over the course of season 2. But then I saw Flynn Downs' development plan and saw how long it will take for him to improve, so maybe we go for a better CDM. And I am thinking about replacing Ben Brereton Diaz as well. I mean, he's mid-20s, 76 overall, and his development plan is slowing down as well. I know that last year he was one of our top goal scorers, but we can't play favourites with certain players if we want to take the team to the next level. And as generous as this 48 million from the board is, I don't think that's enough for us to spend in season 2. So that's why I've put all 5 of these players on the transfer list. I mean, Taylor and Fraser, I'm not holding my breath about selling, but Brereton, Diaz and Downs, those are the moneymakers. If we can sell them, we'll be looking good for this season. And guess what, guys? This time we sold everybody on the transfer list, even Charlie Taylor and Ryan Fraser. And we've now got 80 million after those sales, man. That's more than enough for season 2. And as you guys know, I want a left winger and I'd like a better CDM. To be fair, if we do get money left over, I might go for another CDM to replace Toro. I mean, he's a decent player, don't get me wrong, but he was only supposed to be a short-term solution to a long-term problem. But let's focus on the front 3 for a second. I want to go for Ferran Torres from Barca for that left winger role. Mid-20s, 82 rated. He's quick, got good shooting, passing and dribbling. And if I'm not mistaken, Barca fans hate Ferran Torres, so I'm doing them a massive favour by taking him off their hands. And in doing so, we get a quality winger that we desperately need, and it only cost us 35 million. And just look at that front 3. now, guys, I'm feeling pretty confident going into Season 2 already. But we aren't done yet, guys, as I've just spent 13 million to sign Yacine Adli from AC Milan. He looks a great player at only 24 years old, a lot of time to improve still too. And that still leaves us 24 million to spend, and I did say I was going to bring in a second CDM if we had any money left over, and I know just who to bring in. Mohamed Diomande from Rangers, 23, 76 overall, and I know firsthand just how much of a baller this guy can turn into. And the best thing is, we can absolutely afford him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to your newest CDM. As for 17.9 million, we've signed him on a 5-year deal to wrap up our transfer window. And it's safe to say, just by looking at this team, it's had a little bit of a transformation, hasn't it? I mean, Ferran Torres massively improves our attack, and Yacine Adli alongside Mohamed Diomande are going to make a very good CDM partnership. But will this Southampton team do better than Season 1? I mean, if they don't, we are in trouble, because last year was atrocious. But something tells me we have done a little better, because these are the stats I'm looking at, and my boy Anthony's coming in clutch, 22 goal contributions in 40 games. And looking at the team now, guys, it is so much better. We've surely got to at least got a mid-table finish. But somehow, guys, it looks like we've got more work to do. We are just about in the Premier League again, this time by 6 points. I don't get where we're going wrong, man. We need to really take a look at this team and figure it out. Otherwise, we're just going to go nowhere. We've also had a stinker in the FA Cup, losing to freaking Millwall. And it's no different in the Carabao Cup. I don't know where we're going wrong, man. The only thing that I can actually think of is the tactics are just not set up properly for this team. I think we're going to have to switch this formation around, man. The 4-2-1-3 with how we're set up right now just isn't working, is it? One way or another, though, guys, we've got to figure out what to do with this team, man, because 2 years running, we barely survived the Premier League. If we do that for a 3rd season, we are simply going nowhere. Okay, guys, Season 3 with the Saints now, and I figured out what I'm going to do. Instead of using the 4-2-1-3, I'm going to go for the 4-3-3 attacking variation. We're going to play a short passing build-up play and a much higher line, because I feel like now we can get away with it. And this is how we're going to have the player instructions. We're going to have our front 4 staying up as per usual, but this time our midfielders are going to be more box-to-box, and because of how well-rounded their stats are, they'll be able to pull that off. And thankfully, it hasn't taken Diomande long to convert to a centre mid. Is he going to go up an overall? No, that's a bit disappointing. But Yacine Adli might. Let's see if he goes up. 83! Okay, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. And I'm not being funny. Looking at the team now, it does actually look a little bit better, but we do have some things to work on. The top priority being our backline, because the last 2 years in a row, we've conceded so many goals. I've had faith in the back 4, but now that faith is gone. Now, we do have 59 million to spend to improve our defense, but I want to replace these lot with proper quality, so I'm selling them all to get as much money together as humanly possible to make that happen. And that's exactly what I've done, guys, and we've got a lot of money for these players, man, more than I actually thought we would, as we've now got 119 million to spend, guys. If we can't do something insane with that money this year with the Saints, I don't deserve to be in charge of them anymore. I mean, we just need to make sure we buy really good defenders. It can't be that hard, can it, surely? And so far, it's turning out to be easy, as Jarrad Branthwaite is going to be our first signing from Everton, 24, 82 rated. He stands at 6'5" and is absolutely rapid. And I know what you're thinking, why would Branthwaite leave Everton to join us when we're in such a bad position ourselves? Well, it's quite simple, really. We aren't in the Championship. We are still in the Premier League despite our struggle. So hopefully he might see that as an incentive to join us. And luckily he did, as we've just spent 39.4 million to sign him on a 5-year deal. But I'm not done yet, as I want Rico Lewis to be our next signing. Only 21, already 81 overall. And again, you might be thinking, why would Rico Lewis of all people want to join a struggling Southampton? Well, he's playing in the 2nd division of German football at the minute for FC Köln. He's way too good for that league. And ladies and gents, he agreed, as we've just spent 33.4 million to sign him on a 5-year deal. And I'll be real, our defense looks so much stronger, but we do still need a left back. And you know what? I'm feeling a bit nostalgic. And that's why I've just spent 17.5 million to bring Luke Shaw back to Southampton. He's 82 rated at 31 years old, got a couple of really good years left in him, and hopefully in those years he can help me take Southampton to European football. And just look at that team now, man. and quality up and down the pitch, and hopefully we've got our tactics right this year. Because I definitely think we got our transfers right. Jared Branthwaite is a monster, so is Rico Lewis with a bag of potential too, and Luke Shaw, he's just got that Premier League experience that we need. Granted, we thought this for the past couple of years and it's ended in tears, so hopefully third time's a charm for the Saints. And you know what, guys, at long last we're getting somewhere. We are 8th in the Premier League in our 3rd season in charge. I mean, it's not where I want to be with Southampton at the minute, but it's definitely better than where we once were. But we're still pants in the FA Cup, guys. Everton knocked us out straight away. But we made the Carabao Cup final getting battered by Chelsea. That was our golden opportunity to get European football. But looking at this team now, I don't think we're far away from European football at all. We're just a couple more signings away from it. I mean, looking at the stats, they are by a mile the best they've been so far. Look at Anthony, by the way, 29 goal contributions in 45 games. We've legitimately saved his career. But as good as those stats are, guys, it's like I've just said, this team is 1 or 2 signings away from European football. The question is, where are we going to put those signings? I'm thinking Cameron Archer's time's up, you know. I know he's a good striker with a bag of potential, but right now, he's not that striker that we need. If we get someone better, it might elevate Southampton to that next level. I also think Armel Bella-Kotchap's time's up too. I mean, he's literally the weakest link in the entire team, isn't he? This is all budget depending, guys, but if we can sort those positions out, I absolutely feel like Europa League football's on its way to us. And as we arrive in Season 4 with the Saints, we've got great news. We've got 80 million to spend, our highest budget yet. The problem is that works out at around 40 million per transfer, and I don't see us signing a striker nor a centre-back for 40 million better than the ones we've currently got. So I'm not wasting any time, guys. I'm selling Armel Bella-Kotchap and I'm selling Cameron Archer. I mean, Cameron Archer's market value is 43.5 mil, so I reckon we can get at least 55 mil for him. And Bella-Kotchap's worth 25 mil, so I reckon 30 or 35 mil for him. Either way, once we sell the pair of these guys, we'll have enough money to replace them with the quality we need to take Southampton to European football. And trust me when I say that did not take long. 33.7 for Bella-Kotchap and 71.5 mil for Archer, leaving us 183 million. Let me tell you, we can definitely do some damage with that kind of money. But we still need to spend it properly. We need a prolific goal scorer up top, and we need a phenomenal centre-back that knows how to get the job done. And I have wasted no time in sorting this out, as I've just spent 80 million to sign one of the best strikers in the world today, Victor Gyökeres. He's 6'2", 86 overall, and let me tell you, if he can't get us European football, no striker on this planet will be able to do it. But I'm not quite finished yet, as I'm signing Jonathan Tah from Barca, 31 granted, but he's 87 overall, and he was a part of the Leverkusen side that went invincible in the Bundesliga. If anybody can get the job done, he defo can. And there we go, for 55.7 million, we've signed him on a 3-year deal. And it's safe to say, with how good this team is now, I'm feeling pretty confident going into Season 4. However, we do still have 31 million to spend, and I think I know exactly where to put it. As you can see, apart from Jonathan Tah and Branthwaite, we don't really have much depth when it comes to centre-back, so I reckon we just buy a second choice one. And I think Santiago Bueno would be decent. Granted, he's not the fastest, but he's got good defending and physicality, and more importantly, we can definitely afford him. And there we go, 19.1 million later, he now plays for us. And now that that's taken care of, we've actually got a decent bench, pretty much rotation quality with every single position. And whilst I'm so confident in what we can do with this team going into Season 4, I'll be lying to you if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. I mean, we've signed, in my opinion, the best striker in the world at the minute and an invincible centre-back. If these pair can't help us get European football for next year, we are officially screwed. But guys, we can breathe a sigh of relief. We finally got the Saints European football. It might not be the Champions League yet, but it's the Europa League, and honestly, with the team we've got, we should smash that competition. We're still pants in the FA Cup though. Chelsea knocked us out in round 4, and we got smashed by United in the Carabao Cup. But we're finally on the right track with the Saints, man. It's taken us 4 years, but we finally got them European football. And it looks like signing Gyökeres was the right move. 23 goals, 6 assists in 40 games. He really is the best striker in the world, isn't he? And I'm just putting this out there. Sevilla this year won the Europa League, beating FCSB 3-1 to do it. And I feel like this team, as it is, would absolutely annihilate Sevilla. Never mind what we could do with it in the next transfer window. So I feel like there's no excuses. We absolutely have to win the Europa League, because if we don't, we have no business being in the Champions League. But guys, as we enter Season 5, winning the Europa League has become a very big possibility. 167 million is our budget. And you might be looking at this team thinking, where on earth am I actually going to put that money in? To be honest, at first, I was thinking that myself. But then I realised Luke Shaw is 32 years old. Granted, he's a very good left back still, but I don't want to take any chances. And as much as I like Diamande, and as much as I know how good he can become, right now, he is one of the weakest links in the team, never mind the midfield. So to me, it's obvious where this money's got to go. We've got to bring in a new left back and centre mid. But it's like I said at the end of Season 4, I want this team to be lifting the Europa League by the end of this campaign, and to do that, we cannot beat around the bush with who we sign. And believe me when I said I haven't, as I've just spent 63.2 million on World Cup winner Alexis Mac Allister. This guy is absolutely world class and has at least got 4 good years left in his career to give. And that leaves us 94 million to spend, which may just be enough for our second and final signing of Season 5. As I want Josko Gvardiol, mid-20s, 87 overall, can play as a centre-back as well as a full-back too. But he'll cost between 101 and 80.9 million, so in order to get this deal over the line, we may have to throw a player into this. But I don't want to start off with, so I'm going to offer 85 million, which leaves us 9 million to sort his contract out. I don't think they're going to go for, yeah, I knew they wanted 101.1 mil. So my second offer is going to be 80 mil alongside Luke Shaw. Again, I don't know if they're going to go for this, but this is 105 mil. Come on, Postecoglou, play ball. Yes! Good lad, Postecoglou. You know it makes sense. And that officially wraps up our transfer window after signing Josko Gvardiol on a 5-year contract. And just look at the team now, guys. Never mind the Europa League, for goodness sake. We should be in the Champions League at this point. But it is the unfortunate truth that we are in the Europa League. We're 34th in the league phase, man. I'm actually not sure whether that counts as our ranking, because surely to God, we are better than RC Celtic. I mean, we're off to a great start in the Premier League, 3 wins from 3 undefeated. So I think so far what we've done is the question is, are we able to keep this going till the very end of the campaign? And thankfully the answer to that question is yes. We are second in the Premier League. We have finally got the Saints Champions League football. It has taken us half a decade to do, but we are finally on the right track with them. Still no luck in the FA Cup as the freaking ball jobs knocked us out. And we've lost our second Carabao Cup final to Arsenal. Nah, they're doing my nutting now. And it just goes from bad to worse. We are only through to the playoffs after having a stinker in the league phase. But thankfully, we batter Feyenoord to make it through to the knockouts. But our goal of winning the Europa League ends in the semis as Frankfurt knock us out 6-5. I'm not being funny. If Frankfurt are knocking us out in the Europa League, we don't stand a chance in the UCL. I mean, PSG won the Champions League. If we can't beat Frankfurt, we don't really stand much chance of beating them. And I don't understand why, because this team right now has got to be one of the strongest teams in the world at this point. And you look at our stats, Anthony got 28 and 8, Gyökeres 28 and 4, 23 and 15 for Alexis Mac Allister. Oh my god, what a debut season for him. I don't really know where to go from here with the starting team. Maybe actually we replace Jonathan Tah, because he is 33 years old now, and that's the age where you start dwindling overall. And to be fair, it's actually started happening. As you can see, his stats are going down, so that is priority number 1 for next year. But maybe we do focus more on the bench, because as you can see, there is quality there, just not enough of it. But PSG are the standard setters this year, man. They're the best team in the world at the minute, so they are the team to beat in season number 6. And I think the board know that as we go into the new year, is they've given us just under 200 million to spend. And as you can see, they've got some high expectations. They want the title, they want the FA Cup, and they want the Champions League. So it's our job to make that happen this year. And we already know what we need to do. We need to replace Jonathan Tah first and foremost with somebody younger and better. And we definitely need to improve the quality on our bench, especially if we are going for the treble. But first things first, we need a world-class centre-back, which is why I've just spent 105 million on William Saliba. One of the best centre-backs in the world at this point. I mean, he wasn't playing for Real Madrid for no reason, was he? And as far as I'm concerned now, the starting 11 can be left alone. We just need to focus on our depth. And all we really need is a second choice striker, winger and fullback. Every other position we're actually pretty covered in. So with that being said, I started with our second choice striker by spending 32 million on Kevin Denke. He's a very solid player, and considering he's only 5'11", he's strong as an ox. As for the right winger role, I'm going for Nico Gonzalez from Everton, and I'm also going for Owen Beck from Liverpool for that fullback role. They're both very solid players, great for depth, and more importantly, we can afford both of them. And just like that, the transfer window is done. As for the combined total of 22.3 million, we signed both of these players. And it's very safe to say we don't have any depth issues now, guys. We are absolutely stacked in every single position now. But will that be the difference maker for us in the Champions League? As for the first time with the Saints, we are in this competition. But so far, it's been a stinky start to the Premier League. I mean, we've only won one game from our first three. That's shocking. And we all know what the board expect from this Southampton side, guys. They want us to win the treble, and to be honest, I fully think we're capable of doing it. But I couldn't have been more wrong if I tried. We are 5th in the Premier League. I mean, we haven't even got UCL football next year. The Premier League in FC25 is just officially broken, man. How can we have a team as good as ours and not crack the top 4 at the very least? I mean, we got knocked out in round 3 of the FA Cup. I can't believe we haven't even made it to the final of this competition yet. I mean, at the very least, we did make the quarters of the Carabao Cup. But look at this, we finished 6th in the Champions League. We skipped the playoffs and go straight through to the knockouts, where we've beaten last year's Champions League winners. Oh my god, that is actually massive. And we've battered Real Madrid. We could be playing Dortmund, Arsenal or AC Milan, but after smashing Real Madrid, give me any of them teams and we'll wipe the floor with them. And that's exactly what we've done. We've beaten AC Milan and we're playing Borussia Dortmund in the final. Such a nice change from Leverkusen, as this is the team we're playing against, and to be completely real with you lot, we should absolutely annihilate them. I mean, to be fair, our stats aren't amazing, but Gyökeres, our striker up top, got 34 goal contributions in 55 games, easily the best striker in the world. And this is the team going into the final. Unfortunately, Gvardiol has got himself freaking suspended, but we do at least have Owen Beck on the bench. One thing I've just realised as well, this team somehow up to this point has not won a single piece of silverware. I don't understand how we haven't, you know. But we could change that in the next 90 minutes, as all we've got to do is beat Dortmund in the Champions League final to lift our very first trophy in charge of the Saints. Anthony is on the ball now, though. He's going to spot McAllister. Inside back to Anthony. I tell you what, let's have a dink from distance. Oh, forced the save. Gyökeres is on the ball. Look at that from Gyökeres. You just cannot stop. Look at this from Gyökeres. He could go all the way. Oh, bloody hell. Get the ball in the... Oh my god, how the hell did we not score that? Alexis McAllister on the ball now. Fernandez got a bit of room. He's going to take a shot and it's blocked as well. How the freaking hell did we not score that with Gyökeres, man? That was harder to freaking miss. Fernandez is on the ball though. He's looking for Gyökeres. Oh my god. Somehow he snubbed that through Dortmund's defense. Oh, bloody hell, Gyökeres, man. Gotta be doing better from that. You did the hard work and then you fell flat on your face. Ferran Torres is pushing up the left-hand side of the pitch. Okay, can he cut inside? Yes, he has. He's got a bit of room to run into. That is absolutely shocking. No wonder Barcelona don't like you. And we head into the second half, 0-0. I can't believe we aren't winning, by the way, man. I can't get over that Gyökeres miss. Speaking of the devil, here he comes once again. Look at him go. He's beast. Oh, bloody hell, Slotterbeck. Leave me alone. Gyökeres on the ball. Can we... Oh, my God, he's away. Come on, Gyökeres. You never fail me from this position. Surely to God you're not going to now. Bro, Anthony. Oh, my God. What do we have to do to score? Seriously, how on earth is this a goalless game at this point, man? I know we got Anthony up top, but surely we should have scored at this point. Here we come, though. Gyökeres is on the ball. He's up against Slotterbeck. Oh, he's done him. Gyökeres inside. Surely, finally, with 15 minutes to go, we've finally broken the deadlock. Victor Gyökeres, that has been coming all freaking game. He has had chance after chance, but finally he bags one. And what a goal that is, in true Gyökeres style, smashing it top right bins. But we can't afford to let it slip. We've been perfect practically all game, ladies and gents. We need to keep that going. Dortmund, I'll be real with you, I've turned it up a gear since conceding, but that's good defending. 1 minute of extra time to go. Can Dortmund get another chance? No, they can't. That's full-time. Game over. We have made Southampton, the Saints, the best team in the world. And I'll be real with you, that wasn't easy. The first 3 seasons were an absolute nightmare, slugging it out just to stay alive in the Premier League. But a change in tactics and personnel in the team swiftly changed that, and we went from relegation candidates to being the best team in the world in 6 seasons flat. And as Adderley lifts up the Champions League, it's official, the Saints have indeed won that competition. More impressively actually, we won Anthony a Champions League. But that means my job with the Saints is done. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. And in the meantime, if you want to watch more of my content, YouTube recommends you watch this.